I lost the dice roll to Zonda, and he decided to go second, so I will keep my units with low cost and low level to be able to play them early and set my shields of 6 shields and draw turn 1. So my turn 1 here looking pretty good, lots of low level units and low cost. Send out that demi trainer here for 1, and Zonda will do the same. Zonda matching my tempo here, draw 1 and play out 2 Zaku 2s here for 1 cost each for the 2, and passing back to Zonda, setting up that early pressure with the Zaku's with the plus 2 AP. Zonda will bounce back my Demi Trainer by playing that Durabalde for 2. He's at level 3 with the EX resources, so playing that out pretty early. But I draw my own Durabalde and play it to bounce back his own Demi Trainer, allowing me to swing at his EX base and getting a shield, and playing back my Demi Trainer for 1 and do as I said, getting rid of that EX base and that shield, showing a gun cannon, which is pretty good for us. No burst, don't want to give him no Kiriyamato or anything. He plays another Durabalde and swing at my EX base, destroying it, and bringing back that Demi Trainer. Yep. And passing back to me. I am now at level 4. Draw 1. Draw a Hawk of Endymion. Pretty nice to see here. Debating if I want to get rid of the Durabalde or that Demi Trainer. Ultimately deciding on that Demi Trainer because it is more annoying to deal with versus that Durabalde with low HP. So I decided to get rid of it to not allow him to block. So I will swing at his Durabalde trading with my Zaku 2 and swing at his shield, showing another gun cannon and passing back to Zondo. Now he swings at my shields. I debate and see if I want to block it with my launcher taking this trade. I ultimately decide not to and drop that Strike Gundam. Unfortunate we didn't get a burst here, but it is fine. Still up in shields. Getting lower on cards, and Zonda ultimately at level 5 with that EX resources, dropping that Kira Yamato, arguably the best pilot in the game, bringing him up to 6.5, but with that -2 and bouncing a unit with 4 or lower HP, bouncing back my launcher and swinging at my Zaku 2, taking no damage with that -2 effect of Kiriyamato. -2 attack. So now I'm debating how I want to play this. I decide on playing that Archangel, defending my shields. Unfortunate we see a Flamel here. Would have liked either a unit or a overflowing affection to get more cards. Just something to be able to quickly deal with that Ale Strike. Either Kiriyamato or another Hawk of Endymion would have been nice. But we don't see a second of Flamel, so debating on how I want to take this trade with my Durabalde to minimize the damage done to me. And just seeing how I could take safe trades here. I first decide on swinging at the Ella Strike, bringing it down to 1. But I forgot that on deploy, Perfect Strike forces you to bounce that back, and I don't want that, so I instead will KO the Durabalde. Yeah, Zonda noticing that deploy effect, so I decide against it, and instead, before I spend the resources killing that Garibaldi, and now he's at full HP Yamato, but I get a blocker off and play out another blocker with this Demi Trainer here for 1 and passing back to Zonda. So now Zonda is at equal level with me again, but he's in the driver's seat right now with that L strike still healthy. Because even if I were to block it, I will be doing minimal damage. Because that -2 on attack with Yamato is very deadly. So my plan here is to be able to get rid of this card and get to his shields as fast as possible before he gets another, and just protect myself until I reach that goal. But he has the link pair with the gun cannon, with the white base trait, and making it level, and just getting that play, bouncing both my units because Amuro, not bounce, resting 2 of my units because Amuro gets that rest because of level 5 and lower, and gun cannon when paired gets that HP 2 or lower to just rest, so clears my board and taking minimal damage as stated before with that Yamato, and just swinging at my Demi Trainer, not even taking damage because of that repair 1. So pretty tough position here, but he used a lot of resources to get that play, so I am kind of safe for now. And he plays out that Demi Trainer and passes back to me. I fortunately draw a Yamato of my own, so I can either swing and trade with it with a Strike Gundam and getting a draw 1, discard 1 would be good of getting rid of that Fomel out of my hand and just being a better card. Or I can play the Launcher Strike and swing into the Air Strike and surviving, but he has a Demi Trainer, so I will either be blocked, take 1 damage, or swing into that Air Strike, taking 4. But preferably, I will survive either case, which is really good for this Launcher Strike and seeing that Yamato. Yamato is just so good at just swinging the tide of battle in this game right now. So if you want to play the strongest deck, I highly recommend playing any variation of white that you can find. No Aerial though. Aerial sucks. That card is not good right now. Just if you're playing Aerial, just know you're playing a losing battle. But back to this, I will activate Archangel and restanding with 2 resources. And since I'm standing, I now get my blocker active again. So 5 attack blocker, being able to kill that L strike even with the -2 from Yamato, which is pretty good for me. And gun cannon cannot destroy my base in 1 hit, which is also really nice. So he plays the overflowing affection. Draw 2, discard 1. He discards a Demi Trainer. Check my hand again, just seeing how I can play this. Bombmail is really not helping because that draw from the shield would be nice, but giving up a shield just for a 3 attack, 1 HP token is not it right now with how high the bar is on attackers and HP is in this late game, so I just decide against it and just decide to live. And again, play as many units as I can while also getting rid of his. He draws 1 and discard 1 from that Strike Gundam for the cost of 2. And just seeing how I can take these trades. If he gets a Yamato here, it's pretty much over for me because he gets to swing immediately. And this is not a Yamato, thankfully. It is a overflowing affection. Draw 2, discard 1, discard a Garibaldi. Zonda is debating on how he wants to play this because that gun cannon attacked. My Archangel is still standing tall with 1 HP, which is really nice. And he plays out another Diabolde. And at this point, I am just hoping for a good card. Getting that overflowing affection, which is really nice to see. Forgot to add my resource. So just counting that. But add the correct resource. And Draw 2. So seeing an Archangel, not the worst, but seeing that perfect strike is great to see here. So just debating on how I want to play this. So I play a Strike Gundam, drawing 1 to discard 1, and I see a Garibaldi. So here I'll be able to just discard 1, ultimately deciding what will be the most beneficial here and save me from the onslaught of those 4 attacker Zonda has standing tall. I decide on getting rid of that Garibaldi and playing more blockers just to defend myself with the 3 cost perfect strike Gundam and the 1 cost missed up here. Wanted to add the HP to the perfect strike. So I have 3 blockers here and 3/3 attacker, which is pretty nice. And another Archangel. So I'll be able to protect my shields again. But here is not a nice spot because Zonda's here in the driver's seat. He has more cards than I do. I'm at 1. He is at 3 now with 4 units on board. And by this late game, we can essentially just play any card we want. If it's a unit, if it's a pilot, we just put it on things here. So we're just hoping Zonda doesn't have anything much that would be effective for him here. He also has the restand from the Archangel. So pretty rough position here. He taps 2, bring out a Strike Dagger. So not too threatening, but any unit he plays is worsening my position on the board. He swings at shield. I let it through because it was going to die regardless. And Garibaldi is pretty weak, so no need to take out that card with a blocker. Instead, waiting to see how I can play this out and saving my blockers to get rid of that Yamato and that gun cannon. That his strike Gundam can swing, but getting rid of a 3/3 is much easier than getting rid of a 4/4 and a 6/3. So my goal is just to get rid of that as fast as possible. And he just ultimately decides to swing, putting -2 on my perfect strike. I then go and take that wonderful trade for myself, getting rid of that hail strike that has been baiting me all game. But he does get the 5. He does get the Yamato, bring him up to 5/4. But I get my own Yamato, luckily, and we love to see that. So good trade for us here with the shield. We are down shield, but that Yamato could change the tide of battle. Such a good card. That -2 attack on a unit can make your unit survivability so much larger. And he decides to swing at my shield again. I decided to kill it with my perfect strike, and he passes, so ending it with my own. Yamato in hand here. And getting the airstrike off the shield, off the Archangel is amazing here, because I immediately get the bounce and the haste to swing and -2 on any unit. So I immediately do that. No brainer here. Just play that out. Bringing me up to 6/5 for the cost of 5 here. Bouncing back that Strike Dagger. Strike Dagger can be linked to, so I don't have to worry about being hasted and swung. Swinging at his Strike Gundam with Yamato on it, bringing it down to 3/4 because of the damage reduction from Yamato, only taking 3 damage and surviving. Swinging and trading into his Garibaldi, and playing an Overflowing Affection for 2, and discard 1. I forgot to tap my resources, apologies, but I was still able to make that play, so no rules hit there. And passing For 3 resources, he plays a launcher strike. For 1-2, he plays back that strike dagger. So now we have board control here and sitting pretty. I draw 1, grab another strike dagger, so just get to swarm the field here and just adding more gas and just adding more attackers to that base, which is good to see. And just debating if I want to swing that base, which I do, putting that -2 attack on that launcher would mean I would survive, and then just tapping 2 to restand my air strike, keeping it alive and giving it a blocker ability active again. So now he plays another Archangel for 1, add a shield to hand. He may be able to play something here. He's at 2 cards, I'm at none, so we're just hoping he doesn't get anything that can just like disrupt me here, and just trying to keep him off the pedal as much as possible and just keeping him low on resources, while I myself just start swinging as much as I can at him. He's debating if he wants to play this. He ultimately decides yes he will, playing a Amuro and a G fighter, giving me a rest, and with that rest he also gains high maneuver from the G fighter, swinging at my base. He will swing at my shields here, giving me another Archangel, which is fantastic to see because that strike dagger can't swing at me, and I get my air strike off of this, so pretty rewarded for this. He taps 2 to restand from Archangel ability, and just deciding what he wants to swing into. I can protect my air strike if he does swing into it with my Demi Trainer coming in clutch and blocking that swing and just living. I untap all, grabbing my last resources, grabbing a Zaku 2 and a air strike, and just playing that out for 5. And I will see if I want to swing this. Just worried about burst and seeing if I want to give him cards, or if I get lucky he gets nothing off of this. Also, along he has that launcher strike, so I decide to swing at his G fighter with my strike dagger, just debating if I really want to take this trade or not. And ultimately I do decide on this G fighter to take this trade. Zonda decides to block this, which is good for him. But I'm in the driver's seat here, so he has nothing to resist me. I tap my 5 for the aforementioned Illustrate Gundam and my Zaku 2. Forgot to do that, apologies. Swing into the G Fighter with my Strike Dagger. Good to see. And just now I can decide if I want to swing into that Launcher Strike, making it -2, so I live with 1 HP. See how Kiriyamato just makes your survivability so much higher and just living with that. So he draws 1, letting him keep that strike dagger because I can't swing with anymore. But if he does swing at me with the strike dagger, I can just block with my air strike, surviving, and the healthy air strike and surviving and just being able to swing. He decides to just pass. I draw a Demi Trainer, nice to see, another protection for me. Swing at his base, swing at his shield with the Zaku 2, no burst, grab the C, strike dagger, and tap 2 to restand the L strike once again, just spamming this, holding him down as much as we can from any trades with me, because this Kiriyamato is very good for us, and just 6 AP, being able to kill anything on the board. We have 3 blockers here, so we can keep the Zaku 2 alive in case we need this trade if anything becomes Unfortunate for us, but Zonda seems to be really low on gas, and he has nothing he wants to ultimately play, passing back to me. So here I'm debating if I want to go for a game. I draw Hero Yui. Debate if I want to just put anything. I decide against it, swing at his shield, and then swing at him with the Illustrate for a game, and that is GG. GG Zonda, thanks for the games. He had G Fighter and Hawk of Endymion, so even if he were to bounce back to Zaku 2, he would die to that Ale Strike. Both of the Ale Strikes. Thank you Zonda for the games, and GG.